Hi, y'all. Steph Lee, the founder of Host Agency Reviews. The team here at HAR has been incredibly busy behind the scenes getting ready for our annual biggest event of the year, Host Week. So it is a week-long virtual event full of fun, education, and lots of special surprises throughout the week. It's free, it's fun, and you can join thousands of other advisors already registered. Follow the QR code here to register. And for those of you that haven't sent in your pet pictures yet, you still have time. You can send your adorable pet photos to mary@hostagencyreviews.com and then keep an eye out for their cameo throughout the week. Now, we started Coffeespots, which are in-depth education sessions on one company every day. We did that last year and they were a hit. But there's a catch. So while anyone can tune into our Coffeespots, which happen daily at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, and 9 Pacific, in order to be entered into the drawing to win one of dozens of Starbucks gift cards we are giving away, you need to register separately for each of the Coffeespots. So let me walk you through all of the Coffeespots, and I'll also give you the registration links so you are all set when Host Week starts next week. So Monday, we kick things off with Travefy. So always a really fun and engaging bunch. The Travefy team is going to share all about their game-changing tools, including their itinerary builder, the CRM, the customizable forms, the website builder, and more. So you're not only going to be getting your learning on, you're also going to have a ton of fun. And then speaking of fun, Tuesday, our coffee spot is with We Travel. So they are also the winner of our unofficial Best Pun Award for their title, which is Tech It to the Next Level. So they're going to be demystifying how to build your tech stack and to simplify your operations. And this is the most important part here, everybody. They're going to give you bite-sized steps to do it. So no being overwhelmed. Super snazmataz. Now, we are nonstop here because on Wednesday, we are bringing you Uniglobe Travel Center. And if you are looking for a host, UTC is going to give you the roadmap to launch your successful business. And what I love most about it is there are going to be insights from seasoned pros within their network, along with success stories from real advisors. And then Thursday, we are going strong with cruising. Now, what? You've never heard of cruising? And that is because they are fresh out of the gate. And having seen the demo, I can tell you that you are going to love it. So cruising aims to streamline the cruise sales process. They're going to be focusing on making it a collaborative process between advisors and their clients. And it is a must attend for all of you cruise lovers out there. And then Friday, my friends, you'll be introduced to Incentive Travel Connection. And they're going to be an open book with an Ask Me Anything. And Friday's Coffee Spot, you're going to learn more about the second generation owner of ICT, which is Robert Simon. And you are going to get a feel for the family feel that they cultivate amongst their network. And then while also offering top tier commissions and support. So grab your coffee mugs, folks, and make sure to register for each of the coffee spots to increase your chances of winning one of dozens of Starbucks gift cards that we are giving away. We'll see you next week. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday 15. This is Steph Lee, and we talked about our coffee spots, but we have a lot more exciting things going on today with our Friday 15 because we have as our co-host today, Jennifer Dugan with Dugan's Travel. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And she is going to also be on Host Week. So for those of you that want to learn, you're going to get a lot of information from her today, a lot of great information. She's been in the business a really long time, has great expertise, but she is also going to be doing her Host Week interview on Tuesday and I'm not going to be able to give this in other time zones because I can't do that on the fly, but 1:35 on Tuesday is when Dugan Travel is going to be playing. So make sure to tune in. We will pop the link in for the Tuesday stream in the comments. So put that on your calendar. And those that are watching on video know we have another face on here and you're thinking to yourself, is she with Jennifer or who is this person? And I want to introduce you to Shayna Zand, who is our newest managing director here at Host Agency Reviews. She started this week. Hello, Shayna.
Hello, hello. It's nice to meet everyone. I just wanted to come on quickly and say hi. And I'm so excited to be here. See you all next week. And I will leave it to Steph and Jennifer.
Sounds good. Yeah, you'll be seeing Shayna a lot going forward. So thanks for coming on, Shayna, and let's get into our questions. All right. So let me find our questions. All right, Jennifer, I'm going to ask for your expertise on this one because you're in the field. Because the one thing I'll say that's interesting about Jennifer's at Dugan's Travel is they are a hybrid host agent. So Jennifer, you've been selling travel for how long?
Almost 30 years.
Yes, a really long time. Lots of expertise in there. I have not been on the front lines and have not sold travel in a while. So this question, Kevin J is asking, hi, I'm a new independent travel advisor just getting ramped up. And which CRM, and that's customer relationship management tool for those that don't know, which CRM is recommended for credit card payments? I would like my clients to pay directly using a credit card or a debit card. So Jennifer, I don't know if he's talking about a credit card vault or actually processing in the CRM, but what are your thoughts?
So it would depend on what he's looking for, because if he thinks that he can just have the client enter the credit card and then it automatically goes to the supplier, that's generally not the case. Of course, there are some suppliers, for example, ALG Vacations will allow you to send a link and then your client can pay via the link. But most of the time, you are going to be the one presenting the credit card to the supplier, either through their booking engine or over the phone, or however you're set up to make payment. Now, if you're just trying to collect that payment information, there's plenty of CRMs that do that keep it protected for you, because you have to be careful on that and make sure that you are following the laws, or you can't just take somebody's credit card via email and can get in trouble there. Though there's different rules for different things. But for example, my agents use AgentMate, and we have the ability to send the client a link and they can enter their credit card information, and then we can go in, access it. We've got a short window to get the information without it going away, because it does need to go away in a way, because you really shouldn't store things with the 3-digit code plus the credit card number in case it gets hacked. But Travefy, I believe, also has this feature. So if you're a Travefy user, that you have the ability to have your client enter their credit card information and collect it securely. I'm not too sure how many CRMs out there offer this, but I do know that it is many host agencies have a way for this. So depending on where you're at, if you're doing it independently, you would need to look at something maybe like Travefy to collect that data, or I believe JotForm also has a way to collect credit card information. So it would just depend on what he's really looking for.
Perfect. So one of the resources I want to point out to you is, let me figure out if I can do this. I want to share my screen. There we go. Okay. So we just launched this fall our travel agency software profiles. If you're not familiar with them, on the screen here for those on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, or I'm hoping you're able to see it. So one of the things you can do is the tech offered. You can go down and you can select CRM, and that will narrow down all of the CRM options for you. So you can take a look and read reviews. And then Jennifer, you said something really important about the security with having your credit card number plus that 3-digit code or 4-digit if it's American Express.
Yes.
If you want to be PCI compliant, you have to keep those on. You're not going to keep them on the same server. So there's certain things you need to do, and you can find this information. So I'm just going to use Travefy's profile for an example here. If you go down to software specifics, specifically for fees, it will tell you if you can do fee invoicing and if you can directly collect the fee as an advisor. The other thing that's going to be important for you if you're worried about security is under security. You can see if they're PCI compliant. And then if you want more information, click the info bubble and it'll tell you more about PCI compliance. But they can have the audit certificate, and then they'll let you know if the data is encrypted, which is always going to be a good thing because you want your client's data to be protected. So that's a great resource for people that are not sure on CRMs. And we'll link to those in the comments. And Jennifer, that's great insights too. I was telling someone the other day how with host hybrids, people that sell to their own consumers as well as host advisors, there's a real advantage at my parents' agency when I was doing the support for the host agency and working on the host agency side, being able to hear every day from the advisors what they were booking, what was going on in the portals, hearing how they talk to advisors. It made me such a better person for support. So that's something really fantastic to be able to pull from.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. We have a question from Anonymous, and I think they must be talking about Host Week. So they're saying, how in the world can we go through 30 hosts in detail with questions to finally decide to sign on with one? I've already contacted an attorney to form the LLC before signing up with the host. So Jennifer, you've been a part of Host Week before. How would you recommend people navigate it?
Well, I think it's important to know that there's many of us out there as host agencies, but we all have unique qualities. And I think it needs to be something where you listen to the interview and you get a gut feeling like this feels like this is a good fit for me. Often that's what we get when we get a new agent. They've done their research, they've looked at different hosts, and for some reason, Dugan's is who spoke to them. They felt what we did and what we offered maybe was what they were looking for. But there is a lot of us, but it really is just kind of going through and looking at what you need in a host. I'd love to say that you might pick that first host and it's good and you are golden for the rest of your travel career, but sometimes agents do end up moving hosts because they choose one and maybe it's not the right fit. The goal always is to give you that little snippet to know a little bit about the feeling, who's their spokesperson, and what you get from that interview. But then you do your due diligence and dig into them a little bit more, maybe look at all the reviews and get a feel for what are people saying about that particular host and what do they feel about them. And I really think that even though it might feel like there's a ton of us, you'll find that you're going to get to the point where you maybe have 3 that you're really focusing on because of just what they offer, the feel. I used to always have that panic feeling that we couldn't serve everyone. Maybe somebody was coming for more of a corporate feel and they wanted us to be in a corporate office and things like that. And that wasn't us. But there is a host that's like that. So we all are unique, but we all have somebody that we fit the mold for. So
that's the one thing I love about Host Week is it gives this different way of interacting with host agencies. And so Anonymous, what I would recommend doing is it can be overwhelming. Some people literally sit through all of Host Week, which is quite a feat. It's like a full-time job. I know most people can't do that, but if you don't have the time to listen to all the host interviews, because that's just a small part of Host Week. There's other things. There's education sessions, keynotes, one things, Coffeespots. So there's a lot to do during Host Week. But if your time is limited, I would recommend really thinking about what are the must-haves for your host agencies, that if they don't have that, that can help you narrow it down. Use the filters on the site and then bookmark the hosts you like. See when they're playing during Host Week. We now have the schedule up and we will link to the Host Week landing page so you can check that out. Bookmarks the time instead of an alarm on your calendar so that you can come in and actually listen to their interviews, because for a lot of people that can seal the deal one way or the other if this host is a good fit. And that's what we see a lot of people doing. So if you're still struggling and you're like, I don't even know what questions to ask host agencies, we're going to link to our article on things to look for, or like how to find the best host agency for you. And it walks you through things that you should be considering that you might not. And then it also has a spreadsheet for you that you can ask the questions to the host. Couple other things I would recommend is, let me share my screen again. Too many tabs going on. All right. So on the host agency list, one of the things you can do too is, if, again, you have pinpointed that one thing that is make or break, or two things that are make or break, then what you're going to do is you can go to the profiles, and then I would recommend you can go to the question and answer section and ask that question to hosts you're not entirely sure on, and they should get back to you relatively quickly. So that can help you narrow down if you're not finding the information you need. And then there's the bookmark button here for any hosts that you're interested in. But what was the other thing I was going to say? You mentioned like forming the LLC before you sign up with the host. One thing too is making sure you're checking out those contracts once you're ready. And so we'll link to an article about what to look for in host agency contracts to make sure that all that information is in there. And that'll be super helpful to you along the way. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, no, I wanted to say one more thing. So 30 hosts is a lot, and narrow them down. And like Jennifer said, I always recommend people via either asking question and answers on their profiles, or you can email them directly if you wanted, or send a message on their profile. Narrowing it down from there, and then only doing calls with 3 to 5 at most host agencies, because it's going to be a lot of work for you if you're calling up everyone. But you should be calling them up, and only a handful of them, really your favorites. So hopefully that helps you out, Anonymous. We can't wait to see you during host week. It's going to be a blast. We're super excited. Okay, Jennifer, last question again from Anonymous. How do I assess how and what to charge for planning fees? Hot topic.
Yes. So I will say that we talk about this a lot with our agents, because there's usually agents don't think about charging a fee until something happens that they've done a ton of work and they're not going to make any money from it. Then they go, wait a minute, maybe I should have been charging a fee. That's a struggle, right? If you spend hours working with someone and maybe you book this great trip for them and you're thinking, all right, I'm going to make all this commission. And then something happens where they cancel and you're going to make zero commission. And not only did you work that whole time, but then you also had to deal with canceling them. So that is a lot. So I always tell agents, the first thing is think of that situation and how mad will you be? If you're going to be screaming mad and you're going to be posting to everyone who can listen to that you're so mad about spending all this time on this client and making no money, then you need to charge a fee, because you need to protect yourself if that happens. If you'll look at it more as, it's a learning experience, I got to book, learn about that supplier, whatever, maybe your reasons to charge a fee right away might not be there. It's more of what your tolerance is. Though I will always say that someone doing this should make money at it. But I do know that
That's great.
Right?
Advice.
Right? But I do know, especially for new agents, it's really hard for them to take that step to charge a fee because they feel like, I can't. I will also say, starting out, if you start charging the fee, it's a lot easier than later on coming back and charging the fee. So always keep that in mind too. And sometimes it's not as hard to charge a fee. Sometimes you can just add it as a planning fee, different things, but always look at your bottom line, really. And
Mhm.
like I said, you should be making money at it. And there are the scenarios where you will think you're making money at it. And you really, if they cancel, you're out of luck. Or,
Pandemic is a perfect example
yes,
where the number of advisors starting to charge fees after the pandemic, that was the greatest thing because they realized not only were they canceling, then they were rebooking and then canceling and rebooking, and they got paid nothing if they didn't charge fees.
yes. And it was hours on being on hold, right?
Mhm.
And so, and I have agents that do both. I have agents that charge a fee. I have agents who do not charge a fee. And I've heard it on both sides. And I understand that it's a personal choice, because if you're not comfortable, if you can't put yourself in a place to represent yourself to say, I'm worth this fee, that's a little harder for people. But you want to get to there. You want to feel like you are a professional. You're worth it. The plumber doesn't come out to your house for free,
Unfortunately.
right? Right? They charge even to come, right? Before they even look at anything. So, and other professionals, lawyers don't do it for free. You have to look at yourself for that. Now,
Mhm.
you can always try to do things to bet, to try to make it so that you make the most that you can, but you do need to know that there's a chance that you will put in hours, or you could put in hours with someone who doesn't book too.
Mhm.
So do you charge a planning fee?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Airline tickets, it's pretty standard in our industry to charge a fee for airline tickets because we don't make commission off of it in most senses. So it really, it has to come down to what you feel comfortable with. But I will say my agents are feeling more and more where they deserve that fee and they charge the fee. So because most people expect it, I think.
Yeah.
It's just hard if you're leading with, I'm the cheapest person out there, or I'm cheap. Yeah, I'll get you the cheapest price, and then trying to charge a fee. So it's how you present yourself.
That's perfect. We've got a lot of resources for you Anonymous, on this. So let me, I'm going to share my screen because there's a great resource on our site, because Jennifer is right that a lot of new advisors understandably feel uncomfortable because they're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. How can I charge a fee and say I'm an expert?
Right.
So in the search field, we're going to link to this in the description as well, and in the comments. But if you type in the word fee, it will pull up the Travel Agent's Guide to Charging Fees. And this is a great place to boost your self-esteem on why you should charge fees. So my favorite part in here is this. We've got a embed that has over 150 advisors. We got this during COVID. And so no other time are you going to get 150 advisors answering all this information. But we say, like, what verbiage do you use to communicate your fees? Advice for people who are hesitant about charging fees. And if you didn't charge a fee and now you're starting to charge fees, how do you tell your clients? So lots of information in here that's going to be super, super helpful for you. The things I would say, some ideas too, if you're not comfortable starting to charge fees in the beginning, there's a couple ways you can go about it when you're ready. So one, I'm going to link to an Travel Agent Chatter article or podcast with Judy Lombardi, who she did something really neat when she started. She knew she would want to charge fees. She just wasn't ready. And so what she did was she told people, I'm going to give you a coupon for the next 6. There's like a special going on through June 30th where I'm waiving my fee. So people know that it's coming, and that gives you 6 months to be ready for that. Another thing people do is when they switch over, they grandfather in anybody that they've been working with before, and they don't charge them fees, and they just charge fees for new clients. So there's a lot of ways to approach it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be black and white. It doesn't need to be scary. Mix it together so it feels right for you. And then I'm going to also link to our travel market research reports, because there's a lot of data in there on fee charging practices, what the average fees are that people are charging, what they're charging them for. And that's a great place to check things out so that you feel like if someone calls around to other agencies, this is about the price that they're going to get. So hopefully that will help you out, Anonymous. We're glad you wrote in, and we hope you see you during host week. So Jennifer, we need to wrap things up. Tell me if people want to chat with you more after the Friday 15, besides seeing you on Tuesday. And let me look at the time again. Tuesday at 1:35. How else can people reach you?
You can always reach us through our website. I do monitor the questions that come into host agency reviews. So if you have a question, please feel free to ask it there. We're on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. So feel free to reach out to us anytime you have any questions. So
fantastic. We will link to all of those for you in the description as well as the comments. And in the meantime, let's go over who's coming on in future Friday 15s. So next week is host week, and we are doing a Friday 15 live during it. We have Tuni Wright, who is a travel industry attorney. She's fantastic if you've never worked with her before. And she has agreed to answer your legal questions. So you can get free legal advice. Yeah. And so we'll pop the link in as well. You can go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15 and submit your question there for Tuni. Make sure to get those in, I would say earlier in the week so we can send them off to her. And then the following week, we are going to have Lori Spears on from Lavarte Travel, and we would love to see you there. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Jennifer. Had a wonderful time, and we will see you all next week for host week.
Yep. Bye.